think one of the most frustrating pieces of dating advice anybody can ever give you is just be more confident. Now, it's true, being confident is a massively attractive quality. And that's why when my buddy Lloyd, who's actually one of the biggest up-and-coming YouTubers that specializes in dating advice, shared with me tips that he believes are guaranteed to help somebody get confidence, I just knew I had to share it with you. Check out what Lloyd has to say.
What's up, you guys? It's your boy Lloyd here. So today's question that we have is about confidence again. So this guy writes to me. He writes, "Hey Lloyd, I watch your channel every single week and I had a question for you. You talk a lot about confidence. You talk a lot about how to get more confidence. There are some times where I feel super confident, where no one can touch me. I feel like I can do no wrong and no one can stop me. But there are other times where I don't feel like this. Where I feel less confident, and he just goes into detail about what kinds of things that he does or how he feels. Basically, he's not feeling very good. So he gets these ultra highs and these ultra lows. What can I do to always feel super confident all of the time?" Thank you so much. Look forward to hearing your answer. So this is something that I get a lot with people who come into my programs. I would say that a good portion of them, they actually do feel very confident at some times. And I'd say most guys are like this, where in certain situations and circumstances, if the girl gives you a really good reaction maybe, then they start to feel a lot more confident about themselves and they can do great in those scenarios. But then other times, and a lot of times, they don't have that. Maybe they get a bad reaction, maybe they're not drunk, maybe they're not around their friends, or whatever the case may be, they don't feel very confident in those situations, okay? Basically, the difference between those two guys is, okay, so this guy has state confidence, which means when he's in a good state, he's confident, but when he's in a bad state, he's not confident. Now, what I try and cultivate in my students and everybody is natural confidence, and that's actually what we're going to be talking about in a free seminar this Saturday. So if you want to attend, there is a link in the description box below. We're going to be covering a bunch of things about it. It's going to be hugely valuable for you guys. So again, totally free. So if you're a guy who's a state confidence guy, and if you're watching this, you probably know which one you are, pay attention to what kinds of things cause you to feel confident. I just gave you 3 examples right there. Sometimes if the circumstance is great for that person, maybe they just got promoted, or maybe they feel really good about themselves, particularly that day. Some people, with the seasons as well, I find some people get seasonal depression too. So that's one thing. Circumstances, or have you drank anything? Have you used anything artificial to enhance your mood? That's another thing to take a look at. And also too, probably the biggest one is whether somebody is giving them a good reaction or not, okay? Whether it's a guy or a pretty girl that they're talking to, a lot of their state is based off of that person's reaction. And if they get a bad reaction, they feel bad. So I'll get the typical student where I'll tell them to walk up and talk to a few people, and like the first few times they can be kind of motivated, but then afterwards, if they don't get a great reaction, their energy starts to dissipate, and they're not able to give the same energy and enthusiasm towards other people. And if you know anything about picking up girls, you know that the amount of energy that you give to somebody is hugely, hugely important. And if you can't maintain that, and if you're just a guy who's like really based off of what other people do around you, rather than your own self, you're gonna have a tough time. The way that you develop into someone who is not dependent upon those circumstances is to develop natural confidence. It's exactly what I talked about in the last video, okay? Basically, you don't need other people, you don't need other things to be really confident in your life. And here's the thing, when this guy asked this question, he was like, how do I stay and always be at that ultra high where I feel super confident, nothing can stop me? Well, the truth is, if you develop natural confidence, you're not gonna be at that ultra high, okay? Ultra highs are for people who have ultra lows, okay? And if you're like this, you're going up and down, typically that means that, you're not confident most of the time. And when you do feel confident, you feel super, super good. Now, typically when I see these guys, a lot of times these are the guys that women think are douchebags. Okay, they don't like them. And the reason why is because once they have that ultra confidence, they're not used to having it, they start acting like they start acting mean towards other people, saying super arrogant, like condescending things, because they're not used to feeling that good. And so they think everything they say is okay. Once they get into this mode, they don't usually notice it until later. But it doesn't have to necessarily come out as, being a douchebag. It can come out in other ways. The point is, you're not confident most of the time. So you need to develop natural confidence. Now, the way to do this is, like I said in the last video, you can start by journaling. You can start by asking yourselves those questions. What are some things that you look for in order to be confident? Why do you look for those things? Why are they important to you? Could you do something that could substitute for them and maybe be more confident most of the time? But it really comes down to the daily practices that you do, okay? Meditation can work. meditation can really help out with that sort of stuff. I find that, yeah, like journaling and those different things can really help as well. But if you find yourself between the extreme highs and the lows, there's not just some magic pill there that's gonna keep you at the high. You know, you seen The Wolf of Wall Street? They tried to make that happen and look what happened. Okay, so if you want to be like that, then yeah, sure, find some Quaaludes or whatever it is, whatever drug is your choice out there, and then maybe you can stick and always be in that state. But yeah, if you don't want to be addicted to drugs and you want to do this naturally, I highly recommend that you attend the seminar this Saturday or start journaling and start doing those kinds of things. And we're actually going to be going over how to do that and those exercises in that meeting on Saturday. So again, link is in the description box below. Thanks for watching, you guys. If you made it today, and consider subscribing. I come out with videos like this every single week. And yeah, look forward to talking with you guys soon. Good luck out there.